And we are live. Welcome to my one viewer. Welcome to the show. I'm trying to stream as regularly as I can. It's Sunday night. Hopefully we'll get some people to show up. I know it's a little bit late on the East Coast here. It's 11:37. But welcome to the show, everybody. To my one viewer, whomever you are. And remember, even if you're just one person, you get to smash up that like button. You get to just make your thumb bloody. You know what I mean? YouTube will probably take it away just to mess with my head, but go ahead and smash up that like button because it's, I don't know. I like the feedback, basically. Anyway, it's been a hell of a week. Title of the stream, One for All. And I was thinking about, it's tough to come up with you got to come up with these three-word titles. And I got to, I start thinking about this 2 hours before I do this stream. So whatever, it is what it is. But I was on Paul's show the other day, Saturday, which was the dopey kid Niaz. I don't know why he wants to like run into my fist with his face again and again and again, but he wants to do it, and so I guess there are people that, in their worldview, the most important thing is that someone pay attention to them, and that's what's called solipsism, right? That you are the single point of the universe, that you view the world from your own perspective, and you think of yourself first, and if you think of everything how it relates to you. And one could argue that all human beings are solipsistic, but you mustn't let it overwhelm your thinking. And it's worthwhile every now and then to step outside your worldview. Stop thinking solipsistically and start thinking of others. Hey, look who's here. Judas Fly Chai. Shalom, welcome. You're in Los Angeles, so it's still early there. It's only like 8:40 or something like that. I'm up to 3 viewers. Wow, big audience. So the inability to think beyond yourself really put you behind the eight ball in a lot of situations. And when times are easy, and this times are still relatively easy, you can sort of get away with this. Most people will muddle through, and it won't be much of a problem. But when things get more difficult, and your default worldview is, what about me? You're likely to make shorter term decisions, which are not really well thought out, and that's why at least as every now and then to just break out of your rut, out of the boredom, you should look at the world in a different way. Anyway, what's going on? Let's see what's going on this week. Big week. I'm DMing a bunch of people on Twitter about obviously the price of Bitcoin getting smashed, absolutely smashed. But this is me all day, every day. Okay, let me do a screen share to show. This is again to demonstrate my boomer tech dominance. But for me, this is. Do I have to add it to the stream? It's automatically going to add to the stream. There we go. This is me every day. I don't actually have a wife, and if I had a wife, I don't think she'd look like the Queen of England. I'm not. Maybe she might look like the Queen of England, but I don't think she would. That's very impractical clothing she's wearing. But you can see the St. George killing the dragon, but if you want to see it as it's also. Bellerophon and Chimera. It's the meme of you have to go out and slay the dragon. If you look on our courageous knight's chest, what is the symbol upon his breast? It is Bitcoin, and I've made no secret that I think Bitcoin is the technology that destroys the U.S. Federal Reserve, which destroys the power of global homo. And that every day I go out, that's the way I see myself. I see myself as, trying to destroy that monster so that, Queen ridiculous garments, can, whatever, she can walk around the garden and not get bit on the foot by a nasty lizard. That's my primary, worldview. And, I was DMing some people on Twitter and stuff, and I bought the dip. I didn't buy it low enough. I keep buying the dip too soon. I wish I should have waited another 3 days. I would have gotten more Bitcoin for money. But hey, no, timing the market is impossible. We all think we can do it, and we can't do it. But I think right before the show, we're off the lows of like 32,000. I think we're up to like 35,000. But for everyone that thinks that Bitcoin constantly has to go up in price in order for it to be successful, you're taking far too short term of a view. And in our community, at least in the Bitcoin community, there's a saying: when in doubt, zoom out and look at the bigger picture. I said the other night, this time last year, Bitcoin was $9,000, and so it's crashed. Last year it was $9,000, and now it's crashed to $35,000. I'll take that crash year over year with a longer term view, with a low time preference, right? If you're a high time preference and it's got to be now, you're going to be in a bad spot because everything, particularly everything that's not Bitcoin, is crashing, right? This is certain guys like Zoo and maybe it's a few others. This is what they're looking like right now. You know what I mean? They're in bad shape, and I'm here to tell you, boys, do not do that. Do not be a suicidal frog. Okay? Don't do this. Don't be this guy. All right? Learn your lesson and get out of whatever crappy, I don't know what it is, Dogecoin or Monero or VeChain or Sushi or all those other cryptos are all exit scams. They're designed to make you sell Bitcoin to get into something faster, better, with more profit, something, and then you get the rug pulled out on you. You think you're going on a magic carpet ride. You know what I mean? To some fantastic place, and then they pull the rug out underneath you, and you're left holding the bag of something that's nearly worthless, that doesn't have any history, and is not going to be worth more next year than it is this year. And so that's why you end up thinking this way. And you started out thinking this way because your plan, or most of these people that are playing with these alternative cryptocurrencies, they're in a casino. They're just gambling. You know what I mean? It's slot machines. It's rolling the dice. It's a roulette wheel. It's it's baccarat, or whatever your game of choice is. They're just in a casino, and their worldview is, well, you know what? Everything's okay. Or things suck, but they don't suck that bad. And all I really need is just more money, and then the world will be a better place. But the world's not going to be a better place if you have more money. I mean, it may temporarily improve your circumstances, but when I talk about hyperinflation and other people are talking about hyperinflation, having a big bag of green bills that say, Federal Reserve notes is not going to be worth what you think it's worth, and it's not going to protect you the way you think it's going to protect you. It's not going to work out for you. So that's why when you were in these altcoins, you're like, oh, I'm making bigger gains. Bitcoin's only doing this, but Ethereum's going to do that. And Ethereum's is going up farther and faster, and I'm making so much money. I'm making so much money. You're only thinking about how much more money can I make? And people like me, toxic Bitcoin maximalists, as we are called, are not thinking that way. You know what I mean? We're thinking Bitcoin is the technology that destroys the current financial system. Peacefully and legally, without firing a shot or doing anything violent. That's the way we view it. That's how I view it. And so, would I prefer the price to be higher? Yeah, but the price is it's going higher. Maybe not till the end of this week, because a lot of this that's going on with the market seems to be artificial manipulation. And the next Friday is options expiry. As they say, all the options contracts expire final Friday of the month. So this type of price depression could last for another week. It might last longer, or it could all change tomorrow. But I'm thinking longer term, and I'm in this to win it, and I'm not jumping into Bitcoin as an investment or buying a lottery ticket or anything. That's not why I'm doing it. I want, like I said, listen to me. I'm not kidding you when I say this. I want to destroy the Federal Reserve Corporation of America. I want it destroyed. And I believe that Bitcoin is the technology to do that. Bitcoin works. The Bitcoin network is working perfectly. It has never been down. Okay, because you don't like where the price is, but it still works flawlessly, exactly as it always has. I'm watching my viewers jump up and down. It's cool. People maybe not as interested in this as they think. Where's my okay? This is something worth looking at, because I just saw this, right? And this is an excellent way to think about the current volatility, right? So where are we? Okay. So let's see if I make that bigger. Put that on the screen. Get me off the screen. So this is that chart of Weimar Germany, how the value of the gold Deutschmark going up against the paper Deutschmark. So the black line is the value of the gold Deutschmark as it went higher and higher and higher. You say, well, what are all those red squiggly lines? These are all the people, like the Bitcoin speculators, the people buying options contracts and doing leveraged trades, driving the price up and down. These oscillations are the price of gold at the end of every month, the monthly variation of the price of gold during that same exact time. The overall trend was going in one direction, but here it was skyrocketing, and then it's plummeting, and it's way down below, and then it's skyrocketing again, and then it's plummeting. So that happened in Weimar, Germany. That's happening now. The price of Bitcoin goes super high, and then it appears to fall. But overall, the trend is this black line at the bottom, and it's going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So, when in doubt, zoom out, as they say. You have to stop thinking in terms of, oh, this is a lottery ticket. I'm going to retire this week. People mock, or non-crypto people, or non-Bitcoin people, I should say, mock Bitcoin people. Like every night you go to bed rich, and every morning you wake up and you have to go back to McDonald's to do your job. So they mock that because of the volatility. However, they're doing it because they don't understand what they're talking about. And they see the same. They're only worried about price action, because again, their worldview is why didn't I get this 10 years ago? When it was $1, I could have got 1,000 of them, and then I would have X many $million. That's all they're thinking. Again, the worldview that, okay, well, I'm not really happy with the world, but I'd be pretty happy with the world if I had a big pile of money and a big house and a swimming pool, and whatever. The wife was off shopping all day, and I would have to listen to a bitch. The world would be a much better place if I just had more money, and that is not true. You may convince yourself of that, but it's not true. And I am around some very wealthy people on a regular basis, and they are not happy fucking people. They are materially extremely wealthy, but they are not happy, like at all. So you might want to look to your happiness elsewhere. I'm not saying money has no value. Of course it has value. I said money touches everything. You know what I mean? And influences most things. So it's not like it has no value, but we're living in a system of counterfeit. It's all counterfeit. And counterfeiters on top of counterfeiters. And then, counterfeiters and liars go like hand in hand with deception. You know what I mean? Because counterfeit is a type of deception. People were on Twitter were talking about how Tulsi Gabbard, her campaign called out the anti-white racism and something critical race theory. She's like, you have to stop this anti-white race. The mayor of Chicago. She kind of went after the mayor of Chicago, and people were like, you know what? Tulsi Gabbard has more balls than Donald Trump, and at least it appears superficially true. But here's the thing: Tulsi Gabbard she wants to be president. Of course, everyone knows that. She ran for president. And she's further and further out. You know what I mean? She looks at the guy I mentioned before, Ron DeSantis. I've mentioned Governor Abbott of Texas. She sees these two guys getting headlines, scoring points against the current zeitgeist, the Biden administration. The white domestic terrorists are the greatest threat to America. They're pushing back against that, not in a direct fashion, but in indirect fashion. And she's looking at that and doing her calculus and thinking, I got to do something similar, And they will all say something populist or something that appeals to the electorate, right? When they're running, and then of course once they're in power, they're only taking the calls from the ADL and and APAC and stuff. Those are the only phone calls they're going to take. What the donor class wants is the only thing that they're going to service. But people are caught up now. Everyone's so unhappy with what's going on. They're like, oh, Tulsi Gabbard's doing this, or Ron DeSantis is doing that, or this is, they keep looking for the next hero to come riding over the hill to save you, and none of them going to save you. I mean, they're going to say whatever they need to say to get you, convinced to vote for them, and drive up their Q numbers or their polling numbers or whatever that stuff is. And, they're looking to get into the White House. And once they get to the White House, trust me, they're not taking your phone call. But, and they only think of themselves. That's all, all they think of, and their strategy switches as it's necessary, as they need it to switch. So you have to remember that, but people love they're heroes. They just got to have heroes and saviors, and that's got to tell you, that's not going to happen. There are no heroes. There are no one's coming to save you. I've said it before, and I may sound a bit like a broken record, but you have to be an active participant in your own rescue. You can't. No one's going to save you from this. No one's going to save you from Weimar. When that happens, when you have to bring a wheelbarrow full of money, and it's not going to be a wheelbarrow full of money anymore. That's a 1930s image. The 2030s are going to be different. You're going to have a bank account with $500,000 in it, but that'll be like 2 weeks worth of groceries, and it's going to be insane to you, and you're not going to understand why. But I have so much money. Why am I so poor? And the answer is hyperinflation. It is mathematically certain that this is going to happen. All 84 central banks on the face of this earth are committed to zero interest rates. No one's paying any interest. And in Europe, they're paying negative interest. If you leave your money in the bank, they're going to take it from you. You know what I mean? They want that money out there circulating, trying to do something. Zero interest rate policy, stimulus, QE, all this sort of stuff. And in America, the biggest and most powerful economy on the earth, everyone's right when they say it's been hollowed out, and we are running out of things to do. This crypto is going to be the next big con, which they can squeeze people to make more efforts to get rich in crypto, because there's nothing else anymore. There's nothing. You're not going to get a job in a factory. You can't go to college and get a good job anymore. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Drive for DoorDash with a master's degree in what? And if you have an advanced degree in something that's real, like, I don't know, chemistry or biology, something like that, you're probably not going to get a job in the United States. You're going to have to go out of the United States, because even the big pharmaceutical companies, they're trying to maximize their profits. So they're going to move all their stuff to Mexico or India or whatever. And if you want a job, at a big company, and a bright future, chances are you're going to have to leave the United States, or take a lot less than you're worth, because they will look around the globe for someone with similar credentials as you, that lives in a third world country, and that will do that job for less. And this has been going on for a long time, and we're reaching critical mass, or we've probably passed critical mass, and people are like insanely desperate. So this thing is coming. You can like it or you cannot like it. And my suggestion is you prepare yourself for it. And you're probably going to sound like a loon when you talk about it. I talk to people and they're like, no. Again, the solipsistic worldview is the U.S. dollar has always been there for me. That's real money, and it's always going to be real money. And they don't know fuck all about history. They don't know anything about money. They just, what they have in their wallet still buys bread and milk. So they think it's going to be that way forever, but it's not going to be that way forever. And they're not willing to entertain for 5 minutes the idea that it could change, and it could change in a negative way, and that it could affect them negatively. They think someone will come and fix it, but again, that's a fantasy. No one's coming to save you. They're just not coming to save you. So, Bitcoin price being down to $35,000, literally nothing has changed. If the stock market was crashing and Bitcoin was crashing, that would make sense. If commodities were crashing as well, that would make sense. But this is the only thing that's going down. Stonks are still high, commodities still high. So this is an artificial thing. and it won't last forever. But like I said in last week, you know, like I said last week, when Mark Zuckerberg tweets about his goats, Max and Bitcoin, the goat, you know, and Elon's tweeting about Bitcoin and all this stuff. They're not your friends, you know. They're pumping this up because they're looking to manipulate you emotionally, get you all excited about this, and then smash it down to break your faith, you know, because they know most people all human beings make decisions based on emotion. So they're going to manipulate your emotions, get you all charged up for this. Yay, Mark Zuckerberg's into Bitcoin. And then boom, it gets smashed down. They want to get you to sell it. And for the people who go deep, deep, deep into this analysis, and I don't, I try to like lightly skim through it. The really, really big Bitcoin holders, people with like more than 10,000 Bitcoin, are still buying Bitcoin. You know, the ones that are like 1,000 to 100 Bitcoin, they're selling. You know what I mean? And the ones, you know, from like 100 to 10 Bitcoin, they're selling. And then from 10 Bitcoins to 1 Bitcoin, you know, they're selling. But the ones at the tippy top, the real monsters, are just buying. So why? Because they know it's coming and they can be patient, you know, and they don't make their decisions. They're not subject to the same pressures emotionally that you are. You know what I mean? And their entire existence is about maintaining their elite status. And they listen. They know that YMR's coming. They see that. They listen to guys like whether it's Saylor or someone else. They look at this quantitative easing, this nonstop money printing, and they know it's not good for them. And you might think to yourself, but Jesus Christ, these people have billions and tens of billions. There are people far richer than anyone you've seen on the Forbes 400 list. You don't know who they are. They're like super rich people. They don't want the spotlight. Like there's a lot more money out there than you think. And they want again. They have God tier wealth, you know, for them and all their generations to come. And their only purpose in life is to protect that. And if the governments of the world, all 84 central banks, are all printing like crazy, devaluing the currency, sooner or later that's going to affect them, and they don't want that. You know, so they're looking to get an asset that's not correlated to government action. And what will they do to control the world's next global reserve currency, which is Bitcoin? That's 100% what I think. What won't they do? The question is, what won't they do? You know, and that's for prices of Bitcoin. The best thing you can say is there's no ceiling to the price of Bitcoin because there's no bottom to which fiat currencies will not sink. You know, the Federal Reserve has said we have an infinite amount of money. So if they can print forever and the dollar goes lower and lower and lower and lower forever, that means Bitcoin goes up and up and up forever. Do you know what I mean? If the Fed said, well, we're never going to go lower than this, you could sort of maybe extrapolate what the maximum price of something could be. But the more they print, the more everything that is not dollars goes up. With the exception right now of Bitcoin, and again, I'm saying 100%. That's because of market manipulation. And if you guys don't think that, then you are being naive. You don't want to be naive. You don't want to be naive. Okay, why is it here? I like this one. So, you know, I tried a lot of times to tell to be as sensible as I can be and as straightforward as I can be. And you know, does it work? Probably not. I got the wrong accent. I don't appear to be. I'm not taking my picture by the pool. You know, sitting in my bathrobe by the pool with the palm tree in the background, and everyone else is like this guy. You know what I mean? I make an argument. I think a coherent argument and a fair argument, and I would listen and debate or exchange ideas with anyone. But no one wants to do that. No one wants to tell me, well, yes, it's a zero interest rate policy, and yes, the Federal Reserve has promised an infinite amount of quantitative easing, but that's not going to lead to hyperinflation because of, and they give me some reason, right? If you could make an argument, if you could make a reason, I'd listen to it. But people don't do that. They just stand there like this guy, right? I make a point, I blow these fucking intellectual geniuses out of the fucking water, and then this is what they do. You know what I mean? Look at all my diplomas. I'm smarter than you. Well, whether or not you're smarter than me, you haven't defeated my argument. You're either lazy or a fraud, or a little bit of both, So make an argument. Don't point to these sort of pointless these pointless pieces of paper. If you want to sit and honestly talk about what can be done on an individual level to mitigate negative consequences that are coming down the road, well, let's talk about that. It's going to be a bunch of different things, but one thing it's definitely going to be is you're going to need some kind of money, and the green pieces of paper you have are going to be worthless. And your stocks, you'll sell them. Everything else will have to go so that you survive. And the longer you stay in the system, the worse it's going to be for you until you're so desperate you'll do anything. The whole idea is, Bitcoin is an escape from that system. It is your escape hatch out of that system. You might find that hard to believe, but that's what a lot of us believe. And so, in terms of political solutions, there are none. There's no religious solution. No church has ever, no or spiritual belief system has managed to restrain people from doing bad things when you can do bad things without consequence. If you can do bad shit and nothing happens to you, well, you just do bad shit because you can. There's no one restrains themselves. It's just. That is a fantasy, that is an absolute fantasy. That's a cope. So, and the method that restrains people is that, if they do something negative, they have to receive a negative consequence. And right now, all the people running our economy and our politics receive no negative consequence, no matter, for anything. And people would say, well, Trump only did one term, so they knocked him out. Yeah, but he's still a pussy. He fucking, he tells you to go get the fucking COVID vax, right? But he doesn't mention that the woman that got killed on January 6th, Ashley Babbitt. He doesn't mention how the FBI is kicking in doors of people who just peacefully protested, walked through the halls of fucking Congress, were invited in, by the police. There's video of the police going, come this way, come this way. He doesn't say boo about that, so why? Because he's a creature of that system. You know what I mean? He wants you to love him and cheer for him, but he's not going to make it. He made no changes. He's not going to make any changes, and he's finished anyway. But there's still tons of people. I see Trump 2020. I saw like a pickup truck with its temporary paper license plates they have out here, and they have them in New Jersey anyway. Like when you just buy a vehicle. Guy had a Trump 2020 big fucking banner in the back of the pickup truck, and I'm like, this guy's delusional. Like he's pickup truck dude. He just bought a new pickup truck, and he's going to do, I don't know what the fuck he thinks he's going to do, but it's not a Trump bumper sticker. It's like a big fucking sign. And I'm like, these people are crazy. You're now they're halfway living in a fantasy world. And I suggest to you that you should not do that. You got to be as reality based as you can be, and try not to think, well, me first. Try to set that aside and just try other things. You know what I mean? Try looking at the world in a different way. other than how does this affect me directly? Because that question, and it has some utility, but if the answer is I don't benefit right away, you just ignore this thing, and there's consequences, right? People, you go, hey, you should exercise, 3 to 5 times a week, and people go, well, so what? I worked out. Nothing's changed. I looked at myself in the mirror afterwards. Nothing's changed. Well, nothing's going to change in a day, right? You got to keep doing this every day for 6 months or a year or whatever. And people are like, I don't want to do that. If it doesn't work for me right away, I don't want to do that. And so as a consequence, they do nothing. And then, 15, 20 years down the road, you got blood pressure problems, you got heart problems, you got this problem, you got that problem. Your bones hurt, this hurts, that hurts. And why? Because you had all this time to do a little bit every day, and you chose not to do it because you didn't see an immediate benefit. And so now you're gonna take all those shekels and all that money that you collected together over these years, and you're gonna give it to some doctor, and to try to get your blood pressure like my blood pressure. You know what I mean? To try to get your whatever your VO2 max like my VO2 max. We might be the same age, and you could say, well, I'm materially much wealthier than you. Well, perhaps you are, but I bet I can deadlift more than you. I bet my cholesterol's better. I bet in every medical test I could beat you. And it's not because God loves me more. It's because I take the time to lift, or do some kind of body weight exercises or something multiple times a week. Because I know the value of it is not immediate, but it's real and it's long term, and it's not something you can buy in a store. Today I went to what was the first job they offered me was shit, and then the second job was actually a little bit interesting. I had a pickup in Manhattan at 335 Madison Avenue, which is like Madison Avenue and 45th Street. It's supposed to be blood samples. I thought it was blood samples. Going down to Philadelphia, so I go into the city, and I find parking near the building. It's Sunday, so you don't have to pay. And I go inside, and apparently it's a Disney one of the production companies for the Disney company, right? And I get in the building, and I said, I'm from so-and-so, here to pick up the samples. And they're like, oh, they're not going to be ready till 6 o'clock. And it's like 3:45. I was like, really? I said, well, I don't understand that. There's like a black nurse, there's a Spanish maybe nurse, and then a mixed race girl who's a very light-skinned black girl. And they got boxes of stuff. Everything says hilariously, everything says made in China. The masks are made in China. The sanitizers from China. Everything's from China, And they're doing actually PCR tests. So they take the Q-tip and they stick it up your nose. That's what they're doing. They said, we have 13 other people have to come in, and we have to do tests on them before they're allowed on set. And I'm like, was this a movie company here or what? I was like, up here in Midtown. But it's one of the offices for Disney in Manhattan. So these people have to come in. Some of them were actors. Some of them were technical people. And then get a PCR test before they could go work. And it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm like, really? I was like, okay. And I said, all right, I'll be back. And what I did, because this is me, I just got my car and I drove to Astoria, and I went and got some food in Astoria. And I had a couple of spots, my favorite spots. And I got this killer great iced cappuccino drink. It's called a Freddo espresso, a Freddo cappuccino. It's banging. This coffee is like liquid meth. I don't really know what meth does to you, but it can't be stronger than this coffee. So anyway, I went and got that, and then I drove back into the city from Queens, and I was still a little bit early. So I get there, and now one of the bosses is there, and of course he's a member of the tribe. And this guy is exactly like what I described. His shoulders are narrow, his waist is wide, like he's completely out of shape. But he's wearing like this, like workout clothes, like nylon workout clothes, and they all say like New York Knicks or something. Some I think it was sports ball, and he's wearing these fucking Air Jordans that are like black and gold, like these gold blobs on them, and I'm like, what the like if you were a black dude and you were like, I don't know, really good at basketball. You could pull them off. Like, but this is a fat Jewish guy. You know what I mean? With who's slack. Every muscle in his body is slack. But he's got a shirt that says Knicks and blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And he had a sort of like a backpack that was like that said the Knicks. And I'm like, I was like, this guy's the antithesis of those pro athletes. Whatever. So anyway, he's the boss, and I'm just talking to him while watching him. I really didn't talk to him that much, just observing him. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking, well, when he gets to be my age, he's going to have so many health problems that that cannot be overcome from being. He was probably, and I want to say, 60 pounds overweight. You know what I mean? Like 60 pounds overweight. And but he had very expensive athletic clothing on. You know what I mean? It's no substitute for Romanian deadlifts. But hey, I guess it makes him in with the in crowd. So in every way that you perceive him to be ahead of me, when it comes time to go to the hospital, one, I'm not going to the hospital. Two, he's going to be going before me, and they won't be able to fix him because he made choices that were short term, and within his within his worldview, better because they were more pleasurable. There was no strain or effort. So, and again, if you think, well, no, I'll just need to double down and buy more Dogecoin, or I need to whatever, get some new shitcoin, and then I'll make a big bag of money, and then I'll do. Well, I don't know what you think you're going to do, and then life will be better. It won't be. Hyperinflation is still coming, and the best way to prepare for it is to have something that's not dollar based, that can't be taxed or confiscated from you. And like I said, people like me, toxic Bitcoin maximalists, we say it's Bitcoin, and we will stay irrational longer than you think we can. But look, I still got 4 viewers, but nobody in the chat except Judas Flychai. Not much of a turnout tonight, but whatever. Although I don't really have that much to talk about. Yeah, there's all the stuff like Israel stuff, the Palestinian stuff. I mean, the way that affected me is the security at airports when all the rockets were going off was crazy. It was impossible to get in and out of Newark Airport because El Al flights going out of Newark Airport, and whenever there's a security concerns, like literally they put out an army of Port Authority guys, and they shut everything down so that certain passengers can feel safe and comfortable getting on their airplane, and the entire rest of the airport can get fucked. So, which gave me some headaches. There you are, Jonathan Pohl. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. I hope, hopefully, you enjoyed the fireworks yesterday. And I said earlier, I have no idea why. I have no idea why Niaz, like, why does he want me to beat the crap out of him again? It makes no sense to me. Like, why would you want that twice? Like, these can't be high IQ people because when I was growing up, the dumbest kids were always getting hit. Like the smart ones, you might get hit once or twice because you went out, you call it outside the lines or whatever, you did something you weren't supposed to do. But the ones that routinely got the crap kicked out of them were the dumb kids. And I think that's what Niaz is. Like, why would you want to go toe to toe with me? It's completely irrational. Completely irrational. But these guys, and these people insist on doing stuff like that. So I guess it was entertaining because I looked at, you got it's like 250 views already on that video. So a fun Saturday night, I guess, for the chat over there, which was huge, which is a 17-person chat. This is a tiny, well, I can't see it up here, 4-person chat. But let's do a couple more screen shares. Let's do that because we got nothing else. Don't the diploma guy. Right, diploma guy goes away. Now I'm getting angry. Now this is terrible. Let me. See if this guy comes back. Potato quality internet and a complete half-ass commitment to what is that? That's not what. Oh, you fuck. Now you've really done it. Now you've really. Okay, we're going to stop doing that. I can't even remember. Like I'm not. Oh yeah. So this gives a fairly the type in terms of the memes that that toxic Bitcoin maximalists generate. We do this one I thought was pretty good because this was a great. This is our answer to people like Elon Musk, right? Who are pushing some crap fucking thing that benefits them at your expense. We're not, he is a clown. We know he's a clown, and we have no time for any of this. But when you think, oh, all I got to do is make a bunch more money, and then my life will be better, and this nice multi-billionaire that I've never met before, who wants to send rockets to Mars, and he has these stupid cars that are powered by electricity, even though all electricity is made by coal, and the batteries inside the car are dug out by child miners of the Congo. But still, he's a good guy because he smiles and laughs, and they show him throwing a rock at his own truck, and isn't he cool? He's not for you. He's for himself. So when they appear to do nice things to you, this is your attitude must be that none of these elites have your best interest at heart. Whatever they're offering you is the exact opposite of what you should want. So that I got a kick out of that meme. And that went up fairly quick, but too many people are lost in this cult of personality. They they seem to need this, and they end up paying a very, very high price for being a fanboy or what would you call it? What do you call the girls that follow rock bands around? Why can't it? A groupie? That's what This is what you get for being a groupie. In the modern era. You're going to be Elon Musk groupie. Well, you're going to get burnt, right? You're going to put a ton of money into some shit, and you're going to lose. As a matter of fact, the two kids I told you that work in a convenience store, they both convinced them to buy Bitcoin. I saw them the other day, and they were super interested in talking to me. Where was I going? Newburgh, New York, on Saturday. Yeah, I had to pick up at Cessna up there and bring it down to the airport. And they were saying, oh, we saw that, one kid's on Twitter, he says there are people begging Elon Musk to tweet about Dogecoin to bring the price back up because the guy poured his life savings into it when it was 75 cents or whatever, and now it's 35 cents, and he's losing his entire life savings, and this cult of personality has a profoundly negative effect on people. You're making decisions based on things you feel that people who don't have your best interest at heart are inducing in you by using media like this. So, and how many people are in that situation? More than you would think, and because there's no other. Because the economy's hollowed out, there's what else are you going to do? I've said this before. As people get more and more desperate, they're going to make crazier and crazier choices to where some random billionaire says, buy this fucking crypto coin thing you never heard of and you don't understand. And people pour their fucking life savings into it and now they're fucked. You know, it may be a relatively small number of people right now, but as things get worse and worse and worse, as we get deeper and deeper into Weimar, it's going to be more and more people. And then their reaction when they lost it all, when they get the rug pulled out from underneath them, their reaction is going to be crazy and extreme. And you're going to look around and think, well, you know, the summer of, you know, mostly peaceful BLM protest is going to look mostly peaceful compared to what they're going to do. Once you have large groups of people who lose everything and see no way forward, they're going to go crazy. You know, they're really going to go crazy. So, explaining to people that you have to, you know, look at the world in a different way. You can't afford to be solipsistic like Elon Musk can be, like Mark Zuckerberg can be, like those other people, like Bill Gates can be, all the rest of them. You can't afford that. You have to be smarter. You have to look at things from different angles, and try to protect yourself from a world where there are still very real threats. They're not, you know, it's not lions and tigers and bears, okay, which was, okay, it was pretty sucky, but you know, you could get a sword or a spear or a bow and arrow, you know, and you could probably fairly easier to manage that than it is to manage this, because this appears a lot safer than it really is. It appears safe at all times. Meanwhile, the Morlocks are eating the fucking Eloy on a daily basis, but they disappear digitally. You don't see them; they're gone, and you know, you think, oh, everything's hunky dory, and it's not. It most definitely is not. So, okay, let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. Let's put this one up, because now this appears to want to work again, or work enough so that I just have to do some filler here while I wait for the stupid image to pop open. There we go. There's my buddy. This is. This is the way forward. This is the only way forward. And the reason why is because this is the only thing that is limited. You know, the U.S. dollar is not limited. The ruble is not limited. The renminbi or the yuan is not limited. You know, this is the only thing that's limited. If they can print unlimited amounts of money, the thing that is limited and is going to be king. And Bitcoin is the king. Everything else is garbage. Everything else is an imitation. Oh, it's faster than Bitcoin. It's got more profitability than Bitcoin. It's got privacy. It's got this. It's all bullshit. That's all. You know, it's all of these altcoins. All of this crypto is designed to make you sell your Bitcoin for this shit thing, and then you end up getting rugged, like Elon Musk rugged. How many people? You know what I mean? He goes and does Saturday Night Live. How many people over the weekend bought Dogecoin after watching Saturday Night Live, thinking, "Oh, this is funny. This is a joke. I'll be rich by Monday." You know what I mean? And by Monday, they'd lost all their money, 3/4 of their money. You know, the joke was on them. You need to think longer term. You need to understand longer term, and if you don't, you're really going to be in bad shape. You're going to be in terrible, terrible shape, and no one is coming to rescue you. So you have to rescue yourself. And staying in a system that is run by central bankers, and whether you want to see them as, you know, all of one ethnicity, and you know they hate you for millennia. You know, I'm not going to argue with that worldview, or I don't care how you want to see it. You know. I've said before, I'm not ideological anymore. You know what I mean? I want to destroy global homo. Global homo is supported by the US dollar. The US dollar is a product of the Federal Reserve Corporation of America. Bitcoin is the pin that's going to burst that balloon. People, Tom Anderson, all these other guys, Bob Paxton, Boomer, oh, is it an investment? It's not an investment. It is leaving the system of fiat currency. That's what you don't get. It's not, and like I said 4 times already in the stream, it's not about taking a small amount of green dollar bills, buying Bitcoin, and getting back a much bigger amount of green dollar bills and being happy, because and you might do that in the short term. I don't know how you can manage to pull it off, but maybe you get super lucky 10 times in a row, and now you get this huge pile of money, and then guess what? They lop, they add 4 zeros to the fucking dollar or something like that, and all of a sudden your $10 million is now worth $100,000, and you're like, what the fuck happened? Well, central banking happened. Will they do that? They will if it benefits them, and if it helps to break you down more. This COVID pandemic, whatever you think of it, destroyed an enormous number of small businesses in the United States. So that wealth is now gone up to Jeff Bezos and Walmart and all these BlackRock and all these private investment groups. Well, it worked really good, right? The rich got way, way richer, and everyone else got poorer. But if it works well, it's going to be repeated. So what are they going to do the next time? What are they going to take? They're going to come take your house. They're going to try and take everything. Like until it's it's 2030, you own nothing and you'll be happy, right? That really is their goal. Do they know exactly how they're going to get there yet? No, but they're just going to keep going towards that. Rich people don't conspire; they make plans. They just make plans. And plans might be delayed or set back or whatever, but they just make plans, and somebody else carries out those plans. So this pandemic worked out really well for them, increased their wealth by quite a large margin, and now there are a lot less small businesses to destroy, so they're going to have to go after something else. It's probably going to be your private property, probably going to be your home. A lot of Americans are going to feel like Palestinians in about 6 or 7 years when somebody comes and just takes their house, for whatever reason. Maybe they put up their house as fucking collateral for Dogecoin 2 or some shit like that, but. And it'll be 100% legal, and that'll be that. So you want to avoid that. You don't want to get sucked into that, and it's normal and natural to want to reject that. So, and what is the alternative? The alternative is Bitcoin, because nobody's running around with gold coins, and you're not going to buy shit you're not going to buy a sandwich with a gold fucking coin. Because you're going to have to carry a gun on you everywhere. And as soon as you leave your house, there's going to have to be someone you trust with to guard your bags of gold at home. And, how do you know they're not, going to rob you? It's just impossible. So the 21st century is going to be very, very digital. You want to have a digital asset that is scarce and yours, and it makes you sovereign. That's scarce, limited, valuable. It makes you sovereign. You don't want some crazy scheme to fucking get rich. Instead of buying a lottery ticket, which you consider, you don't want to do that. Oh, I'll invest in crypto. All of those things are scams, and I cannot repeat that enough. So with that, where are we at? We're done gone like an hour, almost. For Judas Fleischai, Jonathan Pohl, and whoever the 2 mystery people are, they could be from the NSA, but they could be others. They could be secret friends. I'm going to say thanks for showing up. It's like 12:30 here, and hopefully something happens during the week to give me more to talk about at the end of next week. So, cheers, guys. I will let you out, and I will talk. talk to you guys again next week. Bye bye.